Welcome to Seasoned and Unbothered. We're two women over 50 serving grown women wisdom with a side of humor because we've earned the right to say what we mean and mean what we say.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am great. Another beautiful day.
It is. We are gotten very lucky with the weather here.
Yes, it seems like whenever we're going to record, it decides it wants to be wonderful outside.
Yeah. What you been up to?
Grinding, working. That's it.
Yeah, I think the same here. Getting ready. Hopefully summer will start soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to a beautiful spring. The weather has been so strange lately. I'm just hoping that we have a pleasant spring and summer and not too much of that crazy weather. Like it's snowing in Denver right now. It's like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. Traveling north, and it's going to be in the 50s. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, going home to Connecticut, it's going to be quite cold there.
Wow.
I know, terrible. It's going to be much nicer here. Maybe we need to reintroduce ourselves.
Sure.
So I'm Tamika, and again, welcome to our podcast. I am a 50-year-old first-time bride. I'm also a midlife content creator and an HR executive by day and a storyteller by night.
That is so cute. I'm Bernadette. I am 58 and I am a business owner of a property management business, and I'm also a senior operations manager of a fitness facility, and I am a full-time wife. Newlywed.
What's our topic today?
Friendship.
We gotta add some
We got our own sound.
friendship, especially friendship at midlife.
Yes, it takes on a new form. I think it's deeper connections and intentionality and shared experiences. When you reach 50, I think you also treasure and cherish friendship in a different way.
Yeah. Why do you think topic of friendship even matters at midlife?
I think it's very important to have those connections. As you get older and wisdom, and as you gain more wisdom, you realize how we're not meant to be alone. When we brought up this topic, I started thinking about what the Bible has to say about it, because it really, really hits on a lot of points about friendship. And it talks about love and loyalty. It talks about encouragement and support. It talks about forgiveness and patience. And it talks about choosing friends wisely. Because how many of us have friends from when we were teenagers? I remember making those little pinky swears and we're going to be friends forever.
I remember
Yes.
I remember we was carving stuff into our hand and doing blood.
All kinds of stuff. And it's really funny. I ran into an old friend that I will say has been my friend since I was maybe 9-10 years old. And we are very good friends on Facebook, but we do not talk on the phone that often. We do not see each other that often. We both went to a funeral of a friend that we grew up with. And I thought, like, okay, let's spark this. Let's keep this going. And I try to reach out, and I just realized that some friends are they're compartmentalized. They're in a box, and I think our friendship is fine where it is. We support each other. We encourage each other through Facebook. But, I guess
Dynamics change.
Yes.
Yeah, dynamics change. I have probably one friend that I've had that I'm still very close to from childhood. One good friend from college, but I would say my closest friends are friends that I've met in, I guess I can call it adulthood. So I could have to say that I've never had like a large group of friends, but I'm very happy with the friends that I have now. But I know that dynamics change. Like when I was a teenager, I had a very core. You have your high school girlfriend, and I swore that we would be each other's in our lives our whole life, and that's not how it happened. And I would have to say I still feel hurt from that because I really did think that we were going to be friends forever. And the way that the friendship ended, it was not like what I want to say, it was drama. Friendship ended in a very bizarre way. We just stopped talking. Like, the person stopped communicating with me. And she never explained to me why the friendship ended. It's the same thing. You reach out, you talk, they don't call you back, things like that. And it just ended, and it was a friendship that I thought that I would have for my whole life.
See, for me, I believe, and I can think of 3 or 4 young ladies that I believe that we still friends. We just operate in a totally different light. I think if we came in the same space, we will pick up where we left off. But we don't have a day-to-day conversation. When we do see each other, it's joy. When we do talk, it's good, it's deep. It could be fluffy, it could be deep, it could be whatever. And then we keep it moving, and maybe another 2-3 years or months before one of us even have a conversation again, well, face to face or and on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't have any friendships that I would call, those would not be friendships to me. I think of no, we don't have to talk to each other every day, but I don't think I can go 2 or maybe there's another term, I can't think of it. I don't think I can go 2 to 3 years without communicating with someone and think of them as a friend and not more like an associate, a high level. I don't know how to define it, but I get it that there are people that you don't talk to all the time, and then you reach out and then you pick up right where you left off. But I don't know if I can go 2 years and still consider that as a friend.
Well, I think for me, because I think there's different levels of friends. Okay. So I think I consider them to still be friends. If something happened to them, I would be there. If I had to, would I say that they're close friends? In my sphere of influence, like right now today, probably not. It's really weird. For me, my best friend is my baby sister. And then outside of that, it's 2 people that came into my life in adulthood, like in my 40s. And we've been friends for 13, 14, 15 years now. And they are the ones that I would pick up the phone if I had a real serious problem. But for the most part, if I had a real serious problem, it would probably just be my best friend. So I guess it depends on how you look at it. And
I agree. I do think that there are different, I don't know, to me, I don't know if I look at it as different levels, I look at it as different phases.
Absolutely, that's a good way to say it.
I had my high school friends, which was an important part of my life and shaped me, go through those high school things together. And then there was my college friends. And I probably would say that I had my very best friend as part of that group, who is the person who I talk to every day outside of my mother. But I think you do with a friend. And then I have another friend. And then I have the other group of friends, my book club. When I say book club, everyone knows who those women are. Right.
They have become very instrumental in our lives.
And I think after once I call my best friend and give her the scoop, then I start going through the line and informing the book club. It's kind of even like how I did when I got it. You guys were the first ones before any family member that I was engaged. So that's how, and when I think about things, even as I'm planning this wedding, I'm thinking about the book club. We got to make sure to invite everybody in the book club. So yeah, I do. But that is a friendship that I developed with you guys in adulthood, and it's still a very strong bond.
I'm curious. I would love to hear what you all think about friendship and where they are, what phase, just your overall thoughts. What do you think about, I thought about this, I was thinking about male friends. And especially for us you're engaged and I'm recently married and
I have a hot take.
And friends of the opposite sex. I believe that can be a true friendship. I know I'm coming to understand, I think it's an unwavering friendship, but it depends on, some people want to classify it, have you ever been intimate with that person? They want to put a lot of strings on it. But to me, a friend is a friend. And I'm a true believer that the opposite sex can be platonic friends, whether they have been in a relationship, whether they ever been in a relationship or not. I think they can be. And it's very strange because I was just talking to a male friend, and he was talking about his relationship with a female and how he had a problem with her having male friends. And I called him on the carpet to say, well, how can you have a problem with her having, what are we?
Yeah.
And he's not in this state. He said to me, but you're not here.
See.
And he said, and he raised his hand to really say that he thought that, he said, but I know men and I know me. Yep. And if you were here, I might be looking for opportunity. And I was like, what?
That is why my hot take is men and women cannot be true friends, a bond between two women, because I think at some point, whether someone acknowledges or not, there is someone who may want to pursue it differently, and that there is someone wants more than the other person, even though they do not acknowledge it. And that has always been how it's been when I've tried to have friendships with men, is that for some reason they've always wanted to take it somewhere, and I just want to be friends. Then the friendship ends because they always wanted it to be more. I don't like it. You can come at me in the comments. I don't like my fiance having female friends.
Really?
No, I don't. He claims that he's got these female, and I'm putting in parentheses, female friends that have not communicated with him and since we got engaged. And I say, that's interesting. I thought y'all were friends. They're not invited to our wedding.
Well, are they not invited to your wedding because you wouldn't want them to be there, or because he never brought up inviting them?
If he said, I'm making up a name. If he said, Pam is really my friend, we went through this together, our platonic true friends, then you know what? And maybe if Pam was married or had a boyfriend, then I wouldn't have an issue with it. But all of a sudden, Pam has stopped communicating with him since the engagement. So I'm like, was she really just a friend? Maybe to you, but maybe not to him. But that's just my hot take. I don't think men can just be friends.
I think the feelings that you talked about being there, I think for most men, unless they have some reason to connect with you because they like you in some kind of way. Most men.
I think men try and get in through friendship.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's one of the best ways to get there, because a good relationship, if you have a true friendship base, I think it's the most beautiful thing. Because we go the opposite way and we do all these other things, and then we try to become friends, and then you realize, I don't even really want to be his friend, because he's not the kind of person I would want for my friend. But he is the kind of person I want to be with, but on another level. So we're gonna keep this clean. But I think you can have enough respect that the person can live with and care enough about you that want the best for you and would never overstep those boundaries. I think
discovered that yet.
I had that with a friend. Now, it was really funny. We were very good friends. And I remember when he started dating this young lady, I was like, he was asking me for all the, like, what should I do? I was giving him all kind of tips, telling him what kind of dates to have. At Valentine's, they could do this, everything. And then when they got engaged, I helped him with the whole thing. And then when she knew about me, she was fine. When she finally saw me face to face, then she had a problem. She said to him, wait a minute, she's very, very attractive. You mean you never, whatever? And he had admitted to me long years, we have been friends for years, that it took him a moment. Like when he met me, I was involved with someone. He met me at a bar, but we kicked it up, and somehow, I don't know, we still exchanged numbers, and we truly just became friends. He never made a pass at me. I remember one time I went to his house, and for whatever reason, I ended up going to stay the night. And I said, oh, we can sleep in the same bed. He said, no, we can't. And he slept on the couch. He knew he couldn't trust himself. I wasn't thinking about him that way. But then later in our relationship, he told me, he said, I had to get over that you weren't thinking about me that way at all. He said, but when I initially met you, that was my thought. I'm trying to get in there. He said, but we really became friends. And even when I was living in Japan and I came back, I think his wife, we were friends the whole time when I was over there. When I went through a crisis, he was like my best. This is before my little sister became my best friend. He was like my best friend. And I called him up over there. I've called him several times while I was in Japan, and we talked, and he helped talk me through some things in my marriage. And when we came back, we said, we got to get together as a couple. And we got together and we went to dinner. He was married. And we stayed in touch for many years, and then we just lost touch.
Yeah. She became okay with the friendship.
I think she did, but I think he probably didn't divulge as much to her anymore after she started. It took me realizing, I said, does she have a problem with me? And he kind of said, well, and then he told me, right? And I'm like, but at that time, I was separated, and I think she wasn't comfortable. But then when I came back from Japan and I'm in my marriage and whatever, because we had gotten back together, she was open to us. But I think she still didn't want us to be like best friends. Like, y'all can be friends. But then I remember when I was married before, he had a female friend who I really believe they was just friends. I believe nothing whatsoever.
Just to think about friendships ending, and I think you said you've never had a friendship that really ended in a dramatic way or hurt feelings.
I had one friendship that I had to end, and this was in the church. We were very, very close, and I was married, she was single. That posed a few concerns a little bit, because I have a husband and you free to go do whatever, but I got a husband, so I gotta go. Something happened. I wasn't even sure what happened, because we were on a committee or something together. And all of a sudden, she started acting straight. And I was like, what's wrong? What happened? Did I do something? Did I say? Like, I was begging and pleading to get her to try to talk to me about what happened. What did I tell me? Like, whatever. And she kept saying nothing, but she was acting different. And I let that go on for maybe a month or two. And then I just said, okay, you can't chase, you can't make someone be your friend. You need to just let it go. And then maybe a month or so after that, she came back. She reached out to me. And she said, I just wanted to tell you. And then she wanted to tell me what happened. And I listened to her, and I heard her out. And then I told her I was not interested in being friends, because that's not how you treat your friends. I said, I gave you every opportunity to tell me what I did wrong. Not that you had to change how you felt. Not that we had to start talking again and being whatever. But give me the opportunity to know what happened and to apologize if necessary. And also that we operate on the same playing field. And I said, I cannot entrust you with my heart and my feelings, knowing that you would just cut me off like the drop of a dime and not even give me a word. And we never recovered. I just wouldn't open myself back up to her. Yeah. She wanted to, but I wouldn't.
I would, and I'm thinking about articulating this in the right way, but I think there is romantic love, which we have with your husband and my fiance. There's that romantic love. But I also think, and I don't know if it's friendship love, but I think that it can be a deep love that you can have with your girlfriends. And I always feel bad when other women say that they don't have female friends. And I always say you're missing out on a very deep, because there's only things as women that we know, that we can relate to, that we can talk about. You can have male friends. When I hear women say, oh, I only like male friends or whatever, and I'm like, that to me is very significant. I think that could be, yes, you can have great conversations, but I think as women, we can relate on a totally different level because we have experienced very similar things, or if not, we can coach and help each other through things. So I do think that from that, I think can become it can be called a sisterhood or something, but I think it's a love that's not a romantic love or sexual love,
right?
But it's a.
I'm not going to call it agape, but I definitely understand what you're talking about. But because women, we can relate on a level that a man cannot. Men do not think like us. They do not feel like us. Most of them do not. Put it that way. And so, we can get each other in a way that a man cannot get us. I think women who say I used to be one of those women that thought it was better to have male friends, because to me, males didn't bring drama because they don't feel and think like us. So that's why it's easier to get along with them, right? And when I was saying those things, it was because I was wounded and I didn't want to engage a woman in that manner, because women are petty sometimes, and women will take your love and your trust and they will turn it against you. And most men will walk away. Most men can know your deepest secrets and your things about you, and then when you guys decide that you're going to dissolve the relationship, they just say bye and keep it moving. A woman scorned or a woman angry at you will throw all your business out there and do all those things.
Is the difference between knowing who is a friend and who is not.
Well, sometimes you don't find out until you go through something. So sometimes you don't find out until you go through that.
Yeah.
But true friendship, though, that when you got a woman who can pick you up, even though you know you was wrong, you know you was dirty, whatever you did was just like the bottom, the scum of the earth, but still love on you, still pick you up, still be there for you and guide you and really tell you the truth, because that's what I think a true friend. A true friend will tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and still love you.
And, tell you when you're good, bad, and ugly.
Yes, and not judge you either, not hold it against you. Allow you. All of us have a problem with allowing people to change. Sometimes people that you've been in a long-term relationship with, whether it's your family, friends, when you try to turn a new leaf and you try to say, I'm going to do better, be better, they sometimes they still have over here.
I remember that time.
I remember that. Yes, I'm not sure. And then this is where it's really key, because I see this even on the job. I was just telling someone, when someone brings gossip to me or brings something to me, I'm always wondering, where were you at in that conversation, right? Why did that person feel so comfortable saying those things about me to you? Because if you really my friend, you ain't gonna let nobody talk about me like that without straightening them out. You can let them have their feelings, but you can say, wait a minute now, I know Berna, and I know she's rough around the edges, I know she's direct, but she's a real loving person, she's a real caring person, but she doesn't always display that. You're gonna say something. And then I also think back to when a person does that, I always think about, what's your reason for telling me now? Why? If someone said this to you months ago, why are you telling me this today? Are you telling me for my benefit? Like, you really want me to know because you want me to know where this person's coming from? Or you telling me to get back at this person? Or you telling me just because you want to spread gossip and be nosy, or whatever the case may be? But I always think in my head, if you give it a bone, you'll take a bone, right? And so when I think about friends, I love true friendship, because I feel like I can be raw and not worried about whether you're going to go and gossip about me, talk about me, even when we get angry, even when we're mad. One of the things I love about, and I don't have many regrets. I think about when I see the sororities, I love what I see from those sisters. I love when I hear people talk about their line sisters, and I see their relationships, and I see that they are really, really involved in each other's lives, with their children and their...
You got the book club.
Well, I do have the book club, and I guess that probably is my sorority. You're right. That probably is my sorority. Yeah. But when I see that, when I see the alpha men and when I see that camaraderie that they have, when I see the military, it's the same way. Those guys have real, true relationships, right? They go really, really deep, and I don't know. I just feel like friends and friendship, like you said, when you think about it in different phases, and I'm learning that everyone has a time in your life.
And there's a season.
It's a season. That's the perfect season. And I think someone reached out to me. She's in my family. She'll probably see this, but she said, I want what we had before, and I love her dearly. We had a rough patch. I don't think we could never get back to where we were, because first of all, we're not those two same people anymore, right? And I try to tell her that my life is different. I don't do the same things. I don't think the same way. I remember her telling me that she said, I thought you thought you were better. And this is because I found Christ back then, right? And something about the way when I would be on the phone with her, my whole demeanor and body would like cringe because of her language. Like the things that we used to talk about and how we said it, and then I was like, wow, I used to talk like that. I used to be like that. And I did not try to make her feel bad about it, but I just tried to pull away because I no longer wanted to hear those things. I didn't want to talk about those things. Yeah. I was no longer in the club.
The reality is there's phases. You can outgrow people.
Yes.
And some people can outgrow you.
Yes.
Those particular person that I grew up with and was one of my high school friends, yes, I guess the miscommunication where we stopped communicating, but I also think we outgrew each other. Mm-hmm. And I would have to say, I could probably call her today and say, I need something, and I know we would probably do it for each other because we were that close. And I'm not a type of person who wouldn't want to help someone who needed it, regardless if we were still talking or not. If she needed something, I would do my best to help it or provide it, but we could never go back, nor would I want to, because I'm not that person. And I do think, in your story with your friend at church, is that all you do is, what did I do wrong? Tell me what I did. Help me be better. Because if we care about each other, we would want that for each other. We would want this friendship to work. You did it.
Right.
So I've moved on.
Now, this is what do you think about men? And I think men cultivating deeper relationships. Because I find that men, when I think about men and their friends, sometimes I go, you call that a friendship? But they see things totally different. And that's usually maybe one or two people that they will really, really open up and share their issues with.
Yeah.
If that.
I would say, and at first I was like, this isn't, and I shouldn't stereotype, but this was my thinking at the time. I was like, wow, my fiance has a group chat with his male best friends, and they communicate every day.
I just heard about something like that at a funeral.
Yeah, and then sometimes they'll set up conference calls and talk about whatever is going on, or if one of them is struggling with something, they'll get on the phone. And
that's beautiful.
I know, he has a very rich, filling relationship with so again, like that fraternity. Yeah. Even though those things have ended, they have kept a very close relationship to where it's an everyday.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
And I love that it's men supporting men in a healthy way, especially, and we could talk about it another time, around mental health and men, and knowing when one of them is not doing well, them all getting together and supporting them. So sometimes I'm like, gosh, sometimes women were better at this.
I just started that. I just started that with two of my good friends that no longer live in the area. One lives in Alabama and one lives in Florida. And for the new year, we just missed our very first call, our monthly call, because one of them, her husband, is ill in the hospital. And so she said she couldn't make the call. So we just skipped it. But we did. It was funny because we used the group chat, though, to still check on each other and talk. But we did that intentionally. And one of the reasons that was so near and dear in my heart, because we celebrated one of my niece's birthdays, and there was a young man there, and he was the life of the party. Life of the party. Sweet guy. And we saw him that Friday, and I think by that Sunday he killed himself.
Oh my goodness.
And I was so taken back by that. But how often you in a room with a person and you don't even know what they're really going through, right? And how they're hurt. And a lot of times men, and the women do it too, we disguise and we put on this front about like we good, right? And we're not. And so we use this as like, let this be the outlet where we can really be raw about how we feeling. You know, one of my girlfriends, as I said, she has a husband that is ill. The other one, she's starting a business, she's working, she's starting a business, her husband, and they're both talking about retirement. Like, we got a lot of things going on. For me, I'm new and fresh in this marriage, right? They have been married many years. We're about to celebrate one of them's 30th anniversary. So it's I think we take the time. I said, let's make time. Let's be intentional about it. We on the 6th, I think it's the second, maybe the second or third Thursday of the month or whatever day it is, we put it on our clocks, we put it on our calendars, and we try to be intentional. And it's at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and we try to be respectful of everyone's time. But we get on there and we just chat. If anybody got anything they want to share, anybody, we try to praise each other, we try to encourage each other, but we also want to be there, and we talk about the mental breaks, and we talk about. I think one of them went on a wellness retreat, and I was like, oh, that would be really cool. Like where you go and the whole point is to just take care of you. Yeah. And so, yeah, again, I am so thrilled to hear that your fiance is doing that, because that's powerful. Yeah. That is so powerful, because I didn't see that. Outside of brothers, like true brothers, I didn't see men being that way with each other.
As we close this up, is there anything you want to add?
Let's see. I just encourage people, when you talk about your friendships, practice regular check-ins, really being true.
So what do you think makes you a good friend?
I think what makes me a good friend is that I really try to be there, and I'm not going to say that I'm over the top anyway about anything that I do, unfortunately, but for the most part, I really try to be there for my friends. If it's late in the midnight hour and you call me, I'm going to try to answer. I'm going to try to be there. And I know some people, I'm really big on response. That's cute. And I try to address conflicts quick.
Yeah.
And just support in general. Sometimes just being there. Knowing, it's funny. I want to stay on that topic, but I want to say this. A lot of people say that their husbands are their best friends, and I think that's not true. I think it's hard for your husband to truly be your best friend. I think he's definitely a friend, but I don't think, I always tease Thomas like, you can never be my best friend, because first of all, I can tell him something and he want to joke about it later. I'm like, that's not funny.
Yeah. They don't take things as
serious as
we do. Like, this is real serious. And he's looking at me like, is it?
That's what he said. Yes. And he does that. And he be like, la 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 la.
I'll call you.
Yes. Yes. And I don't think a man can give you that. A man, especially a man that you're in a relationship with. And then when I want to talk about something sexual and something that's going on with me, I can't. Not that I can't have a conversation with him, but I can't have a conversation with him in the way that I will with the woman who may know what I'm going through, because she's a woman. If my libido is decreased, or if I'm looking for ways to be whatever, like, I need other women to kind of be there for me for that.
That's why I think it's weird when women, I don't have any female friends. I don't think I could be friends with, if I were to meet a woman and she were to say, oh, you're great, Tamika, let's be friends. And I'd be like, oh, so where are your other female friends? Well, I don't have any other female friends. Well, I think that's a red flag.
I don't know if it's a red flag. I think it's just that sometimes they find more comfort in men because they've been hurt before. Yeah. And so what it is that they haven't found forgiveness. Another part of being a good friend is forgiveness. Because guess what? We're all human. And if you and I are friends long enough, there's going to be times that I say something or do something that would irk you, get you upset. And maybe out now just I'm wrong about it. So, but part of being a friend is knowing my heart, knowing that I will never intentionally try to hurt you, try to, disrespect you. Or even if, let's say, if you had a friend, a male friend that I just didn't like and I told you the truth, I would never be telling you the truth to hurt you. I would be telling you the truth because that's what I see in them, and maybe you don't see it because you have feelings. Maybe you missed something. And that's the other thing your friends are really good about. They can pick up you bring a guy around, they can see things that you don't see. Or you do see, but you don't want to bring it up. Because if you bring it up, then you got to deal with it. And if I got to deal with it, meaning I shouldn't really be seeing you, and I don't really want to end it yet. So
when it comes to friendship and being a good friend, I just really try and be there for them. I am bad with answering the phone and picking things up. But when I do listen to them, I'll call you back eventually. But that's something that I've always told myself and I pray about, that I get better at. Because I want to be better at it. I want to be a good and better friend. I'm just also a person. I have an only child syndrome a little bit too, where I am very introverted, do like to do a lot of things alone, but I really love my friends, want to spend time with them. I want to be there for them. I want to be seen and known as a good friend. I want to be defined as, what Tamika is a good friend.
You are.
Yeah, thank you. I just try and do.
Well, you brought up a good point, and something that a true friend has to come to realize too, because a friend knows you and they know your path, they know your history.
So, in closing, I think you were kind of closing up some final thoughts.
Yes, and then that's a check-in, celebrating, and then also celebrating success.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there, and this is really funny. I did a test when I put something on Facebook about Proverbs. I'm in Proverbs right now, and I'm reading Proverbs every day for 31 days. The book of Proverbs tell you how to live life. It tells everything you can think of: friends, money, marriage, parenting, everything, being a boss, all of that is in Proverbs. How to be a virtuous woman, all those things. And I just realized that when you put certain things and you talk about success, people don't gravitate towards those things. People are looking for all, like, the people who ran and raging and saying crazy stuff. But let's celebrate people's success. Let's celebrate even the little things.
I think that's important. I think that friendship is about lifting everybody up and not seeing someone else's success as your failure.
Yes.
Or wanting to look down at someone. I don't think I have anything to add. I just think that we need to continue to value each other, value the friendships. Like you said, everything you said, lift each other up and continue to grow, and just also know that things happen in seasons and being okay with that.
Well, and people may need to open their mind up to friendship therapy. Like couples therapy, they have friendship. Well, the reason why I say that, because if you invested all these years in someone, it's really important, right?
That's why I match it to love relationship.
It really is.
If you have a true friendship, a best friend, that is a love relationship. And if me and my fiance were having problems, we would go to something to help us through it, because that's a love relationship. I think people cut out too quick. They're ready to end it because something happened or whatever it could be, instead of trying to work through it.
But that's what really enriches the relationship, right? When you've gone through something with somebody. Yes.
It can't be all kikis all the time. Sometimes you have to be in the trenches.
Right.
And that's that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think those are things that people can reflect on and think about. And again, share with us some of the things that you do with your friends. How do you get through conflicts with your friends? How do you deal with friendships? How do you even cut off friendships? I mean, like, I think I did it when I had to end a friendship, because sometimes you don't end friendships, they just dissolve on their own, right? But when you really do have to end a friendship, do you do it with love, right? It's not malice towards the person. It's just, I'm moving on, and based on what happened, I don't see how I can operate in this manner with you right now. Not to say that I would never, because I would never say never, but again, if you're going to end a friendship, how would you end a friendship?
Yeah. And
would you do it in love? Because you don't have to be all like, oh, I hate her. If she's in the room, I don't want to be in the room. Can we still coexist? Can we still and it's not that I don't even care about you. I just can't be invested in the relationship any further.
As we close this up, I just want to encourage everyone to subscribe. Please leave us a review, and also share this either video and or audio podcast to someone who you think would like to listen to this and find this very valuable. And I just want to to stay seasoned and thank you.